So for this recipe, I'm blending up some white mushrooms. I'm just going to blend them in the food processor. You want to just kind of roughly chop it. You want it to be a little bit chunky, so you can also do this with a knife as well. So I'm just blending this down until it gets chopped to kind of small pieces, similar to like a ground beef. In the meantime, I'm also sauteing some red and green bell peppers along with some onions, some cayenne pepper, and a little bit of sea salt. And I've gone ahead and added in my chopped mushrooms. Just going to get this stirred and let this saute down for about 5 to 10 minutes. I want to cook this down a little bit to release some of the liquid from the mushrooms. At this point, you can also season it. I just used a little bit of onion powder, cayenne pepper, basil, a little bit of oregano, but you can use whatever seasonings that you prefer. And so you can see that the liquids are starting to release from the mushrooms. You want to continue to cook your mixture down and stir it. I'm cooking it on kind of a medium-high heat so that the liquids evaporate quicker. If you do that, you want to constantly stir it so that it does not start to scorch. But you want to just cook it down to release some of the liquids, because you're going to be adding a tomato sauce to this a little bit later on. So you don't want too much liquid in there. So here for my tomato sauce, I have about 5 or 6 Roma tomatoes that I've cut in half. And I'm just going to do a chop on this so that it looks like crushed tomatoes. And so this is what you want it to look like. So it's just crushed tomatoes, and you're going to go ahead and add that to the skillet with your mushrooms. And go ahead and give this a nice little stir and saute this down. And there will be additional liquids released from the tomatoes. So that's why you want it to cook some of the liquid from the mushrooms. So you want to let this just cook down and combine nicely with the tomatoes. And I've also added in 1 tablespoon of tomato paste. This helps to intensify the flavor. It also adds a little bit more color to our mixture. And I use a organic tomato paste. You can also make it yourself, but this is just easier for me. It's no salt added. It's 100% organic tomato paste. And I'm also adding some ground annatto. The annatto gives it nice color as well, so it'll look more like a chili. It doesn't really have a flavor. You want to add in about 3 or 4 tablespoons of the annatto. You can add more or less depending on how you want your chili to come out looking. And just go ahead and give that a nice stir until everything is well combined. And then you want to go ahead and let that simmer together for a few minutes. Now I'm going to add some additional liquid. I want to add in some tomato juice. So I have 2 plum tomatoes, and I'm just going to blend this down until it's a tomato juice. And so as you can see, it's completely liquefied, and I've added that to my mixture as well. I'm going to get that nice and stirred in. You can add a little bit of spring water if you need to, but I want it to kind of stew and cook down so that I have a little bit of liquid in there to let all the flavors come together. So this is what it looks like, and I'm just going to let this simmer and cook over medium-low heat for about 15 to 20 minutes. So after about 10 minutes of cooking, this is what it looks like. You can also add chickpeas if you want to this. That would be a nice addition to this chili. But I want mine a little thicker, so I'm going to let it cook for probably another 10 minutes or so until it starts to thicken up and look more like a thick chili consistency. But you can stop at this point if this is the consistency that you prefer. So this is how I want my chili to look. And so this is a nice chili base. You can put this over some spelt pasta, kamut pasta. If you're having flatbreads, or use this as a dip. For me, I'm going to be having this with a little bit of salad and a little bit of spaghetti squash. So there you have it.